Real Estate Agents. Welcome to the Weekly Closer. I'm your host, Jeff Underwood, along with my co-host, Joey Sampaga, the man with a plan, and we are the Real Estate Marketing Maniacs, aren't we?
We are.
We are, that's right.
Yes, we are.
We have a great guest with us today. Oh, I like that music.
Yes.
We have Mark and Cayman Captain with the team captain at Keller Williams Legacy One Realty. Thank you for coming in.
The captain team.
The captain team.
Yeah, thanks for
team
having
captain.
us.
Team captain.
Team captain.
Yes.
AZ.
Awesome.
That's where we are. How are you guys
Thanks
doing?
for having us.
Yeah. Let's see. Lisa Macbeth invited you in, I think, right?
Yes, sir.
She's awesome, huh?
Absolutely.
Yeah, she's cool over at Security Title.
She rocks.
Absolutely does. Well, let's get into the show and first start with how long you've been in the business and what got you into real estate. How about that?
Alrighty. Believe it or not, I found my passion later on in my life. So I started out as an appraiser, and my wife and I were running our practice back in the early 2000s. She actually started in 96, and as I was working retail management with Costco Wholesale, I looked over her shoulder, and she became my mentor, and I thought, you know what, we could run our own practice here. So we started appraising, and that's how it all started. Started out valuations and doing the residential appraisal, and I always had the passion to sell, and I later looked at getting into sales and thought, you know what, this is a great way for us to extend our business.
Yeah.
And so I went through and got the schooling behind me, and in late 2010 got that taken care of. So it's only been about 6.5 years that I really started the business and got things moving. So found my passion later on in my life, but
loving it.
2010.
So that would have been right when
everyone was getting out.
Everybody, well, yeah, or people were getting some good deals on homes, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, it was very challenging. I had people wondering what I was doing, and I really had a good game plan. I thought, with us doing these appraisals and helping the banks out, why shouldn't I look into selling these homes as opposed to just doing the appraisal end of it?
Right.
So,
yeah, for sure. And so then you brought Cayman on board, right? How long?
Yeah, so I got licensed 2013, and when you're born into a family where real estate is talked about at every dinner, I was kind of, well, hey, why don't I join the team and we can run side by side? And it's been a blessing in disguise. It's not every day that you get to work alongside your father, and I've learned a lot just shadowing him over the course of the last 4 or 5 years. So,
yeah, I bet. I bet you tell us stories about your dad.
Yeah. He won't admit it. He'll never toot his own horn, but he forgot to mention that year he got in the business, he actually won Rookie of the Year.
Really? Yeah, there we go.
Wow,
nice. So, that's pretty impressive. I never took that stat home, that's for sure.
You're looking tan, too. Did you just take a trip?
Well, it's funny you mentioned. We spent a couple weeks in Hawaii.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, I've never taken a 2-week vacation in my entire life. And I'm glad I did. It was an amazing time. I got to see some family. My sister lives out there, so it was great to see her and spend some time with her and my brother-in-law. But most importantly, just being there as family and soaking up the sun.
Yeah, I was going to say, did you just stay here and take care of the business?
No.
You went too?
Yeah, I had to go join, yep.
All right. So tell us a little bit about what you're doing to be successful now. I know that there are a couple niches, one that you're going to be moving into even more so. But you want to share about the millennial kind of angle that you guys are, or kind of how you're helping the younger folks? So
the younger crowd that we see right now, they don't understand the qualification process. They don't even know that they can go and buy a house. They automatically jump to the conclusion, hey, I need to find a house, so I'm going to rent. So, that I've seen, for instance, I just did a deal, the last name, the client of ours was the Chacones. They came to me and they said, hey, I've got about $1,700 to $1,800 a month that I can work with, so find me a house in Gilbert. I said, well, have you met with a lender? Do you know, can you qualify? Because they both had steady income, they both worked, and sure enough, we found them a house where their payment, they purchased, and their payment was lower than what their rent would have been, what they were looking for. I think they ended up, mortgage and everything is right around $1,600 a month.
Yeah.
So they're saving, they were looking to go up to 18, they're saving $200 a month.
Right.
That to me is a no-brainer, and from there they're able to start their investment portfolio.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe there's a misunderstanding with where the price point is, not really taking into consideration the fact that interest rates are at historic lows still.
Yeah, interest rates are still doing great.
Yeah, we can make a big difference for sure. No, that's great. I think that's that's a group. I'm sure. I know you mentioned that you're doing some Facebook ad type stuff, but also the Instagram crowd, right?
Right.
That younger generation is going to want to be on the Instagram stuff. Possibly Snapchat. I don't know if you're kind of playing around with that one yet.
That's a tougher market to hit because you definitely got to have everyone following you back.
Yeah.
When you have with Instagram, you can have the explore page, and it just goes off of it. No different than Facebook. The way that their system works is, however many likes you get, it'll make you a little more popular, and
sure.
that everyone else that's following that page or that person, it'll show what they're liking, and so it kind of works out a little bit better for what we're trying to do.
Yeah, for sure. I do have a Snapchat account,
so I'll have to follow you when we're done here.
Well, I usually only use it when my daughters send me a text that says, "Dad, I sent you a snap."
There you go.
And so I'm like, okay, I better check it out, I guess, right?
We've had fun with Snapchat just on more of a personal level. We haven't invited the whole business end of it, so we can be a little more candid with ourselves and have a little more fun in terms of, maybe not doing anything illegal. I don't want to sound like that.
I was going to say, you want to elaborate? Because I think you told me something about this.
Just doing some crazy stuff that we wouldn't normally do, but we're keeping it legal. So it's been a lot of fun. I just joined Snapchat back in July, and of course, my kids think it's hilarious because I'm doing some nutty stuff on there. So it's been fun.
So you're not sending your snap code out to your database?
No.
That's funny. Well, what are you guys doing right now to be successful? I mean, this has been a good year, and we're going into 2018, the beginning of it now. And what are you doing, or what are you changing?
I would say for us, the biggest thing is we've really tried to support each other as a team to stay committed to the lead generation every single morning.
Yeah.
From 9 to 12, and sometimes longer. Our goal is to get one appointment a day, and to make 25 contacts. And we've stayed committed to it at times, and there's been times we haven't been. So we've now met as a team and been more consistent to really make a point of how important it is. And it really is. It's the engine. It's the engine behind the whole operation. That if you're not making contacts, you're not reaching out to others to see if they're open to buying, selling, or leasing real estate, you're in the wrong business.
Right.
As much as I'd like to say I 100% referral business and people call me, I think that's a lot to ask. We're proud of the fact that we're able to turn 35 to 40 homes a year just from referrals, but we know that we want a bigger business out there, and we know how important it is to reach out and to push the lead generation. So I think that's been our biggest engine, staying consistent with that, building relationships, making sure we're presenting a value to our clients. It's easy for me to go in there and be like everyone else, but I've challenged the team to provide world-class service. We're not going to accept anything less. We're going to make sure that our clients have an exceptional experience once they're done with us.
Yeah.
So some examples would be if you're a seller, you might hear from my assistant, and she's likely going to call you and say, how's everything going with the move? Do you need boxes? Do you need tape? Can we order you a pizza? We know you're busy packing. You probably don't even have time to order food. What can we do to make this process more, just easier and less painful? Because let's all face it, moving is no fun.
Right.
It's a challenge. Ordering even moving trucks, junk haulers, painters, landscape, whatever we can do to make the experience exceptional is what we do.
Oh, that's great.
We're not willing to do anything less. We really want to make sure it's right.
Yeah.
So I think that's been the biggest thing for us.
Well, it's been good, right? I mean, it's been a good year for you guys, and you're growing the team.
Absolutely. We close about 100 homes every year, and we're looking to grow that to 140 homes for 2018. So just short of 30 million this year, and our goal is to push 40 million plus for 2018. So
Cayman's got some work to do then, right?
He's got some work to do. We've brought on a new hire, so she's great. She's been with us for a year now, so she's got some great skill sets behind her and training with us, and we're always looking for talent. So I certainly look forward to growing our team. So it's been a lot of fun.
All right, and you mentioned your database, 30 to 35% referrals. from that. And you're using a system, so you're staying in front of the database. How often and what kind of things are you putting out there?
So in terms of our database, I would say some of the basics, naturally whenever we have a new listing, so that's a great thing for our clients. They need to know that we're hitting 4,000 plus people just within our database. And that's growing up to, I think we're up to 4,500 now. So at least they know that it's not only hitting our database, we're not only cross-marketing with other agents and the MLS and everything else that we do, but on that database, we want to make sure that our clients, our past clients, have first dibs on any listings that are becoming available.
There you go.
So we want to make sure they're hit with any new flyers, coming soon, listings and whatnot. And then naturally, it's a great way for us to just stay in touch with them, see how they're doing, see how their families are. So as a team, we do touch our past clients and make sure they know who we are still. I'm not interested in doing a transaction with you and waving bye-bye and never doing anything with you again. It's important for us to earn your business for a lifetime.
Sure.
And so for example, we want to make sure we stay in front of them.
Right. Yeah, and I think some of the stats are pretty alarming as far as people buying a house, and then they'll ask them shortly after, hey, would you use the same agent? A lot of times they say yes, most of the time, right? But then they go to resell, and they're like, well, I don't know how to get a hold of them.
Exactly.
Right? So
isn't that scary?
So they lose that potential, that lifelong business opportunity.
Yep.
Really.
Oh yeah, we have a client, and I'll quickly share with you that I met back in 2011, and since then we have turned over $5 million worth of real estate just from that one lady that I met through her friends, family, and people that basically exploded from just that one deal. So no one's going to tell me that it's not important to take care of your clients, because you just never know.
That's right. Now, I know you mentioned too that for 2018 you're going to put some additional focus also in the luxury arena.
Absolutely.
Right? So certain plans there, certain kind of what's leading you that direction?
Yes, we have Maddie, who's our new marketer, who's an intern from ASU that's just recently started with us, and she's already in the works of building pages and whatnot through Facebook, and we want some luxury presence through those channels, making it naturally an exceptional experience. I think a lot of the agents are getting relaxed and complacent, and so we do nothing. We're not going to just put together a slideshow. We're going to make sure that every luxury listing has a live video throughout the entire house, so they have that tour. And then, of course, we're going to make sure that we're hitting thousands of agents. So we want to make sure that we do a good job of collaborating with not only those potential buyers within our audience, but it's important to collaborate with agents. So that's a big plan for me, is to make sure I stay in front of the top agents. We have that list, so we email them every time we have a luxury listing, so they see. And I think that's been the biggest thing for us, is just staying in front of the other agents and making sure that we're hitting the right audiences and doing what we can to take care of that. So it's been a lot of fun so far, and we look forward to that.
Good. All right. How about before we get into the next segment, why don't we, and I'll ask this kind of of both of you, but we'll start with you, Mark. If an agent comes to you today and maybe their business is slowed a bit, or maybe they're new to the business, what would you tell them that they need to do right now?
And they're a newer agent?
Either newer, or the business is just slowed a bit.
I think a few of the questions I would ask them is, what are you doing now? And I would immediately assess just their activities. And if their activities aren't matching what their ultimate goals are, then I would help them align those two.
Yeah.
So if a new agent said, well, I'm in the morning, I'm just going through and making flyers, and I'm doing everything I can to stay in front of some of my clients. I'll call back, these people or those people, and my first question is, well, how often are you calling them? How many people are you calling? Are you purposeful about it? Do you have a list every day that you've prepared? So my suggestion to them would be to prepare themselves ahead of time.
Yeah.
Make sure they understand that it's hard to wake up in the morning and show up at your office and then just start organizing yourself. So think about who you're going to call, and make sure you're purposeful. And I would say right out of the gate, for sell by owners, canceled, expired, a new agent, they're going to likely have more traction with their sphere, people that trust them already.
Right.
But I would say that those that have more experience, I would just look at their activities and make sure it's matching, their goals.
Yeah.
And more times than not, I can nail it down with just them saying, well, if I ask them, how many contacts do you make a day? And if they look at me with that deer in the headlights look, I say, well, how do you expect your business to change when you're not reaching out to anyone?
Yeah.
So,
well, I say hi to the barista every morning. What?
Yeah,
No, just
absolutely. And I think a lot of people look at contacts as cold calling, and that's a big part of what we do, but that's not all we do. And I think being that our business has grown, we have opportunities to reach back, not only to our past clients, but let's be honest, I when I'm out to dinner, especially if I have a great experience, I love to hand my card to that server and say, you know what, I would love to return the favor someday. Please contact me if you're ever thinking about buying, selling, or leasing real estate. Our team will take great care of you. I'll make sure that happens. The experience here has been great. So
that's awesome.
That's good.
I think with that, the moral of the story is you have to contact as many people as you can't make it a secret that you're in the business, right? Otherwise, you're in trouble. So if you're not comfortable cold calling, then you better get out there and you better meet a lot of servers, or you better get out there and talk to every store manager at the mall, whatever it takes. That's my motto is to make sure that I hit my contacts. And I'll tell you, when you're doing it on a regular basis, and you stop that habit, it feels so unnatural. It feels like you woke up and showed up at the office with your shirt off or something. You forgot to brush your teeth, or something's missing. And I'm telling you, when it becomes a habit, it's great, because you feel awkward when you don't do it, and that's when you know you got it, is when you do it and you're committed to it.
No, that's great. That's great. How about Cayman? What about if you needed to give a word of advice to, let's say, maybe a younger millennial that's in real estate or getting in the business?
Don't let the little demon on your shoulder tell you can't. When I got licensed, I was 19, and I always thought, well, who is going to buy a house from an individual or myself who hasn't even done the process himself? At that time, I hadn't bought a house, and that was always kind of my hurdle that I had to jump over. If I could give any advice to a newer agent, I'd say take advantage of any opportunity that you run into. Scenario for myself on Sunday, I just drove to Superior. I would have loved to, for one, sleep in and watch some NFL Sunday. But, I was working, and I drove an hour and a half to show a house to a client who's relocating from Minnesota. And we actually call these clients, she had a real estate agent but didn't want to go out there and show the house. So we call these clients orphan clients. So if they are previously working with another real estate team or an agent, and that agent isn't wanting to do the work, then we'll happily, take on that work. And, like I said, I drove out there and I got them under contract today. So they are going to be moving here on the 19th of next month. And, so going back on it, just taking any opportunity that you can have. If you have a renter that wants to look, I know it's not a standard commission, but it's still, you're still going to make some sort of money. And on top of that, you're making a relationship.
Yeah.
When I first got licensed, 33 transactions my first year, all rentals. Of the following year, about 5 of those 33 actually came and they repurchased through me. So, you just you start that foundation. You got to grow somehow. So if I could give any advice, it'd be just take advantage of every opportunity that prevails itself. Don't, I run into a lot of situations where agents kind of get in that mode where, that's a lower price point. That's too much of a headache. I don't want to deal with that.
Yeah.
But just, take advantage of it.
Yeah, for sure. No, that's great. Good advice. Are you guys ready?
Let's do it.
To get in the ring? All right, let's do this. Here we go. and you guys can either both answer or one or the other, however you want to handle this. What's the best advice that anyone has ever given you?
I'd say, coming from my father, don't sweat the small stuff. Don't worry about things that are out of your control. Because we often worry about things that are so out of our control.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a great piece of advice that he gave me, and I try to.
There you go.
As much as I'm disciplined and want this to happen and that to happen. There's times where I'm just going to let loose a little bit and say, you know what, can't control it.
Yeah.
So there's no reason to worry about it, right? So.
Yeah, we had somebody on the show and they said it's just real estate.
Yeah.
No one's going to die.
We're not performing surgery here.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So, you want to add anything, or?
Going back to college baseball days, I think one of the biggest rules that we had on the team is if you're on time, you're late. So, I kind of take pride in showing up 10, 15 minutes early before I meet with any client, and whether it's firing up the lights or even going and grabbing a Starbucks for the client before we go and view some homes. So I kind of take pride in that. If you come into the office, I'm at my desk almost every morning by 9 a.m., no later. And the same thing whenever I run around with clients, got to make sure you're on time.
No, that's great. Great advice. How about your favorite mobile app?
Favorite mobile app?
Yeah.
Well, it's not going to be real estate related. I know that if I'm on Southwest or American Airlines and I'm booking a trip, and that would definitely have to be my favorite app. I mean, there's always the other tools with your GPS and whatnot, but that comes to mind first because I know I'm going to go on a trip and
you like to travel,
enjoy myself.
Absolutely. How about yours?
I think Snapchat.
Snapchat.
Right? Any social media, Snapchat, Instagram, something like that.
Nice. All right. How about book recommendation?
Well, I'm not much of a book reader, but the few books that I have read, I would say, Gary Keller's put out a book, The One Thing.
Mm-hmm.
And, he's right. As much as we all think we're multitaskers and we can take on the world, and we may have, 10 balls in the air and 18 irons in the fire, the reality is you're going to do average with most everything if you're not focused on the one thing. That's right. I think if you really sit down in the mornings or late at night, whenever your prime time is, to really have that time with yourself, and you really look at what's most important, you're going to be so much more productive, and you're going to allow your focus to be just on that one thing, as opposed to allowing all these other distractions into your life.
Yeah.
And not that everything's not important, but as soon as you start prioritizing, it's almost scary. You start prioritizing everything. How can I get there quicker, or how can I save money there, and who can I leverage with that? So that's one thing that One Thing book has been great. I'm excited to read it again.
Yeah, no, it's a great read. I try to explain that part of the book, the multitasking thing, to my wife. That might have been a mistake, but because she says she can do it. So
women are great at
that.
it.
Chapter was written for men.
That's right.
Absolutely
right.
So I'll just go along with that.
Absolutely. I don't know. My wife does all the things she does, and sometimes things will fall to the wayside, but I guarantee you that her grade's going to be much higher than mine in terms of getting multiple things done at once.
Sure. Cayman, you want to add one?
He actually took mine. The One Thing.
Yeah,
that was that book, when I actually read it and I kind of bought into the program, there was when I originally got licensed, I was in and out of it, kind of pushed back a little bit, and it was one of those things, you don't want to listen to Dad. You want to do it on your own, right? And the minute I bought into the program, that's really when my business took off. I read The One Thing. I was able to double my business, double my income in 1 year.
Wow.
And I've actually done so ever since. So it's been a great book for anyone to read, especially if you're newer to the industry. You can learn a lot. I know Gary Keller, one of his big things just in the book real quick that he takes pride on is leverage. You got to have leverage for your time in order to grow your business. So you got to make sure you have all the right tools in your belt to make that make that happen.
Absolutely. How about a productivity tool or software that you use on a regular basis?
I would definitely say Insightly's been great. It's our CRM as well, but just keeping us on task. The reminders on the mobile phone as you're out and about, it's great to have those pop-ups. There's times where if I have a 10 or 15 minute window and I'm sitting in my vehicle, it's great to just push that Insightly button, go through my contacts, who haven't I touched, who do I need to touch, and I'll tell you, it's a great tool, and hopefully we can share that with the audience and they can look more into it. I think it's helped us a lot.
All right.
Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah, I think I'm more into the dialers, right? So I use Vulcan 7 a lot.
Okay.
I'm probably on that website 3-4 times a week, and it just makes your day a lot more smoother when you can just plug in all the numbers and you're not having to individually type every single one. You just feel you're more effective throughout your day. So
all right. All right, and we'll have you draw one more question
Uh-oh.
out of the mask.
This is beautiful. What is that, velvet?
What'd you get?
What did you want to be growing up?
Oh.
Oh, nice.
Wow. You know, I had a couple things, but I would have to say the first thing that comes to mind is a drummer for the most incredible rock band out there. To name a few, maybe AC/DC or. Yeah, I've enjoyed music.
Yeah.
I have my own drum kit, and I'm not making any money at it, of course.
Is it in the garage?
It's sitting in my office. So you'll have my home office with my desk, and right next to it is my Pearl drum set. And I'll tell you, it's a lot of fun to jump from that seat to the drum seat, crank up the music, and let it rip. But like I said, not earning any money at it yet, but that's definitely something I would have loved to have done.
Yeah.
And who knows? Maybe
Eventually, that'll be some that'll be the one thing, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You could start a band and move to Belize, where all the baby boomers are, and you could play some.
There you go.
Some 70s and 80s.
Maybe there'll be some 2020 hair band or something, right?
There you go.
Pulled right out of the 80s or something.
So
Who
I'm
knows?
picturing, as soon as you said that, I'm picturing, you've probably seen the movie The Big Short.
Oh, yeah.
Remember the part when he's down in his basement and he's playing the drums and he's got the earphones?
Oh, yeah.
Anyway,
Oh, yeah.
I'm just picturing
Yeah,
that. How about yourself? What did you...
Well, my life has always been involved around sports, so I always thought I wanted to be a sports manager or a physical therapist or something in that kind of realm. And it took me getting hurt. So 2012, before I was licensed, I ended up having a full shoulder reconstruction. Went through the whole process, and I saw the pain that my physical therapist put me through and what they deal with on a day-to-day, and I said there's no way that I would ever do this. It's kind of, to me, it was a negative experience, and I like to involve myself around positive people, or else you're not going to be having the best day. Yeah. So, yeah. All
right. Well, thank you guys for sharing.
Yeah, pleasure,
if agents that are watching or listening want to reach out to you directly, how would they do that?
You can reach out to me anytime. My phone number is 480-695-3847. We're Team Captain AZ. We're a Keller Williams team right here in the Phoenix area. Reach out to me anytime. I'd love to speak to you, help you, coach you any way I can. I make a lot of mistakes, but hopefully I've made enough where I can bring you to the next level or pull you out of that rut that you're in if you're in one. Reach out to me. I'd love to speak to you and help you out.
There you go. Mark and Cayman Captain, thank you so much for being in here. We also want to give a shout out to Fidelity Home Warranty, Fidelity National Home Warranty. That is one of our sponsors on the show. Thank you so much. And until next time, this is Jeff Underwood and
Joey Sampaga
coming to you from Security Title Studios in Biltmore. We are the Real Estate Marketing Maniacs. Take care. Bye-bye.
Adios.
All right. Great job, guys.
Thank you.
The Weekly Closer podcast is sponsored by Jake Krabby, NMLS number 877141 at Academy Mortgage. Are you looking to buy or refinance a home? Jake Krabby is your mortgage professional. Contact Jake at 480-442-9291. Jake Krabby is a loan officer at Academy Mortgage, NMLS number 877141. State license for Arizona number 0920357, AZBK number 0904081, and New Mexico number 877141. Academy Mortgage Corporation, NMLS 3113, and New Mexico 01451. Call 480-442-9291. Address 15333 North Pima Road, Suite 205, Scottsdale, Arizona 85260. Academy Mortgage is an equal housing lender.